I want to talk about the phone call on Wednesday between Trump, the EU leaders, and Zelenskyy. And I think it's going to go well. I think they need some kind of a friction. So what's important is actually going to come up in this meeting. I think the European leaders feel a bit anxious and worried about the Friday meeting the Russian president and the American president is having. They feel kind of left out. They feel like they don't have control over the process. I don't know what they think is going to happen on Friday. I know that if my cards are right, it's going to be a fruitful one. I know everybody's joking about Trump giving away Ukraine, and Putin is a charming man. He is, and I think people know this. People know that people that have worked with him or know him from the past actually has good things to say about him. So when they kind of yell about he's not to be trusted, he is this, that, and the other, I think they know that what kind of a person is going to step into that meeting on Friday, because he's charming, he is polite, he is very, very intelligent, and he is like has his structure, he has his plan, and he has, because when you talk where you kind of look at how he used to be when Russia and Europe still sort of got along, he was quite liked. And the comment section underneath his speeches, like the Munich one in 2007, people realize that he is kind of right about a lot of things. He usually speaks the truth, I have noticed, even if he doesn't speak about things. Like, you have to look up what he doesn't speak about. So I think the European leaders are aware of aware of the fact that he's probably going to be liked on Friday. So it shifts the tone quite a lot. And the energy the Russian president has still is very calm, very collected. He has made up his mind, no matter what everybody says, how much people try to get him to kind of react or do things. He's not going to. He has made up his mind. He kind of wants. It's like if I'm telling him that, well, if you do this, this, and this, then you're going to be liked by the European public. Like, I know you will. So he is going to try that out. Okay, fine. Then I'll see if it will be so. That is his energy. Like, he has this vision, and he just wants to see if it actually is like that. If that vision is wrong, then it's wrong, and he has to adapt accordingly. But I think he has made up his mind, and I think the European leaders can feel that. I don't see the Russians being extremely aggressive in the media right now. I don't see, they have kind of calmed down. It's not a lot of talk. It's not a lot. It's like more of a. And I know Trump and Putin both have the hermit card this week. It's like going inwards, being more selective with what you say and what you do, and so on and so forth. And Trump is going to be the mediator, going to feel like he is the one keeping everybody like on a path forward, keeping them together, keeping the rhythm of this issue going. The obstacle is that no one has faith that this phone call is going to become anything of it. Maybe don't the European leaders feel like they don't have any say in it. Maybe their goal actually is that two of them are going to be at the meeting on Friday, and that is not going to happen. I don't know. Maybe if they want an invitation or they're going to invite themselves. I think that this meeting is going to need the friction, like say what you really want, say what you really mean at that phone call, because it's going to play out like a plan moving forward. If the meeting with the American president and the Russian president is going well, then who is going to pick up after it? Who is going to be at the next meeting? Who is going to, what is the next thing? Okay, but if the Russian president say this, how do we move forward? And I think Trump is going to want to push the responsibility over to the European leaders, which he should. I said it for like weeks now. They need to start talking. They need to start like be brave, be the leaders that Europe actually want them to be, because we have been quite spineless. As my AI said, I was just, hey, spineless. But it's true. We are waiting for the Americans to do all the work, and the American president has done a great job. I know not everybody agrees with me. He didn't give up. He was so close to give up. Like, I don't want to talk to him. I'm never talking to a Russian president ever again. He's just humiliating everybody, and he's just doing this and he's just doing that. I don't know what changed. He changed his mind during the summer, and it seemed to go well, but he wants EU to kind of pick up now. Like, he has his own thing going on with his country. EU has its own thing. I'm starting to move more towards looking at EU and the mess, and that every country kind of fights over like immigration. And I was asking my, okay, but who decided this? They did. Like, all the countries decided this. But this was before the irregular migration started. So the rules they put down then doesn't really apply to the situation we are in today. Okay, but why don't they just fix it? Why don't they just, they didn't really get along. Because the North and the South doesn't really have the same circumstances, or what do you call it? Like, Sweden doesn't have a massive migration problem over our borders, or there's not a lot of dinghies like over Östersjön to get to our country. Like, where are everybody coming from? Like Finland or Norway. It's like, it's not a non-issue for us, while Spain, France, Greece, Italy has a different kind of problem, and they try to regulate that before the massive migration thing happened. And they need to rearrange it. They need to get along. They need to put new structures down. They need to have a vote, I guess. I don't know. And just change it. And when they change it, it will be fixed in Europe. I don't know how to kind of get to that position. I just started to look at the mess, and it's quite fascinating. Obviously, how would you get everybody to agree on something? They need to, if they don't want this to, because EU is keeping up with the rules. Why, in this case, Ireland was very angry, and Elon Musk is saying, oh no, every EU country should leave EU. And I was just, they agreed on it before this situation. Just fix it, just get along, just, I'm like want to go towards that. And I think the American president wants to move towards his own issues, his own country. He wants to shine there. He doesn't want to put tariffs as punishment. He doesn't want to wants to do what's best for his country, and I do can agree on that. So there's not a lot of time, which puts pressure on the EU leaders. I said that you should like take the lead. Someone take the lead. I always wondered, why don't we have like an EU leader that is at the same level as like a president of a country? I think it is a gentleman today that has that position. I never hear about him. I never see him. I never have. And I'm not saying that he doesn't do a good job. He probably does. He's very like stable. I've done a reading on him at some point. I think it's a he. I think I'm like having the right person in my mind now. I just wonder if we need someone in that position to actually be at the same respect level as like a president of, like we can make him go to Russia and speak with the Russian president, and it would be the same respect energy. I don't think we have that today. It feels like, as Trump said, there is a lot of EU leaders, but they still need him to do this work, to get everybody in the same room, to get everybody. We should have that ourselves. We should have like a president that has that kind of authority. And I'm not saying it's, where am I getting at? Like, if the EU was, I thought it worked like that. I thought we had someone that was almost like a president over EU, and actually their job was at the same level as the Russian president or the American president. If we don't have that, or if the thought of it was like that, but it isn't, then we probably need to sit down and ask how we want things, because I think we need one. I think we need like that everybody in EU knows who this person is. They have like the authority to actually get everybody to agree in some way. And I don't see that right now. Maybe it is, maybe it's very hidden, but I would like when that person speaks, if everybody knows. I think, I don't know, but I've done this video so many times, and I start off with phone call, and then I just move over to EU. So I think I'm not wrong here that we want to speak about our own issues, about our immigration, about how we can get EU to actually work together, how we perhaps need like a more, I wouldn't say flashy person, but someone that when he or she speaks, everybody in Europe knows. We don't have this, I don't know how many countries we are, but 100 leaders scattered like all around, and that don't get along. Everybody has their own, we need someone. I think so, at least. But that takes a lot of work, and I'm not supposed to have to dig deep who this person is. They're just, supposed to kind of show their face, and I know. Okay, yeah, no, that is. It's like the American president or like the Russian president. You just know who is the EU leader. I'm not saying the people that have held the spot doesn't do a good job. They might. I'm just saying something. And I did it again. I've done this video so many times, and I seem to just move over to EU. Back to the phone call. the EU leaders need to put up a plan. They feel pressure to do so. They feel like they don't have a say in it. They and it's true. They should have said something a long time ago. I get it. When we start to speak about EU, get why no one really thinks that it's their place to actually do something or get everybody in the room or so. And that is why I think that we need like a EU person with the same respect, same level as like another country's president, because this is a mess. Zelensky is going to be defensive, is going to want, he is aware of that his allies, it might be shaky, it might not, he has calmed down. That doesn't mean that his stress levels are calm. I don't think you can switch from that kind of a stress to like a peaceful mind, kumbaya, without like some real work, and especially not if you're still in a war. So he needs to calm down and like make an effort towards it. He is going to let everybody else do the heavy lifting diplomatically, and they're going to feel it. They're going to like, okay, we are still here, we are still the ones needing to do this work. So, and Trump is going to push over the responsibility over to the European leaders, which he should. I think he's done a good job. I'm grateful, even if everybody else isn't. I joke that, yeah, no, he's probably going to give Ukraine away. I don't think that, though. Is it easy to when the Russian president is like this charming, attentive man? Is it easy to like, yeah, no, we just had a great talk? Yes, it is. But you need to have a plan. You need to have a structure. You need to have something that kind of moves past the phone call, like what comes after. And I think the Russian president has said that for a long time. This takes time. Like, and if you actually Google how it like a peacetime, or ask your AI how long time does it take, to like 6 months to 1.5 years. The Irish fight took 20, like it's a long time, it's a process, it's like building trust, it's I give you this, you give me that. Is everybody happy? No, no one is happy, but eventually we have come to the last meeting, everything has kind of changed, we move forward from this. Hopefully everybody can do the work of healing and building up again, but it takes a long time, and I don't think we have that much time moving forward. And I think that people are starting to realize it, and it's starting to sink in and accept it as we move through this week, because I think that the energies are going to be different now moving forward. And if you don't adapt, if you don't change with it, you're going to be dragged through it. And it's better if you are there, if you better if you say, well, at least we did try to get a seat in that meeting. It didn't work, but we gave the American president a strategy. Okay, if this actually goes well, then we would like to propose this moving forward, and see what comes out of that. I still don't think it's a good idea for Zelensky and the Russian president to meet. I think you need more of a momentum. I think you need to build trust again. I think you need to have a strategy put in place. I think you need, I don't know. It's just like their energies doesn't match quite yet. And I think Zelensky needs to calm down. He needs to, I think, accept that some of his demands are going to have to be rewritten. And I don't think he has accepted that. I think that is like the point that I am waiting on when the the story he has told himself, story, the narrative that everybody kind of push out there, out in on social media, and wanting to like sympathy and wanting, and they have done so with me too. I might add, I've said a comment to some of the Ukrainians, or like put a heart on something, and they goes out there and they just thank you for supporting Ukraine. I've never said that I support Ukraine, to be completely honest. Um, do I think that no one deserves this. However, I'm not someone you can blindly kind of manipulate either. Neither the Russians nor the Ukrainians. So I support peace. That is why I'm not touching the Palestine Israel thing either. I think it's just, I'm not saying anything about that because no one of them wants peace. So, nope. I kind of was asked to look into this when there actually were a moment of the beginning of the end. And that sunk in with me the other day that why was I asked to actually look into this? Like walk the corridors of Kremlin, if energetically, if you would put it that way. And it because it actually is a tiny possibility of the beginning of the end here, which means that people are prepared to change their perspective, change how they have dealt. Like the Russian president is prepared to go from the authoritarian way of dealing with the West to more like, okay, fine, I try out to do what I used to do. And then he said, was it like last year, that if he would give himself advice with his experience how to deal with the West, and he said, don't be that naive. And I can agree with that, to be honest. I am now doing it again. I'm all over the place today. I just jump between stuff, and I seem to not have like a red thread or anything. I'm just all over the place today. I don't know what I was talking about. Yeah, you disappeared. I think that the meeting is going to go well. The phone call is going to go well. The meeting on Friday, whomever is going to be there. Yes, now Zelensky. I think I'm waiting for when I know that he has accepted that things has changed. There we have it. And he hasn't, not yet. The Russian president have. He sees he feels the change. He sees the change. He wants to see where it goes. He will drop the authoritarian way of dealing with the West. His people around him wants him to be an authoritarian still. I think he has that in mind. If this softer way of doing it doesn't work, then he probably goes back to more the authoritarian way. And if he does, then he is not that easy to deal with. he's not that willing to listen any longer. So, and I think that with how scattered EU is, with everybody not getting along, it's not easy to have to deal with EU. You don't have one person that you speak to or that have that kind of authority in this constellation. So I don't know. I think that the Russian president and Zelensky will meet. I don't think it's time right now. Have a structure, have a plan, have a way forward. I would suggest like 6 months, not 1.5 year, and really not longer than that. But I probably will not going to be here because I'm like searching for a job and I really want one right now because I need the routine and structure. That is why I'm doing this, because I can't just not do. I'm still searching for a job, but I can't not do like anything. I would go crazy then. So I would probably not be here because I'm going to find a job eventually. So I hope that they get somewhere this week. And this is also what I mean that people move on. Like, we have other things. The the French president might want to do something else. The Germans have a political party that is more pro-Russian, coming in more and more. It's fast growing. We should really not let Germany have immigrants. I'm just saying, they don't seem to kind of handle it that well. They seem to have extremely strong opinions about immigration and other people and like race and stuff. That doesn't seem to be the case in any other European country. So I don't know, like collectively kind of stop Germany from taking in people that they then see as beneath them, or I don't know what their core wound is. They don't seem to be particularly good at budgeting or managing their economy because they feel like, I don't know, immigrants are kind of screwing everything up again because of the political party that is fast growing, very right wing, like too much. I can say like Sweden has that party too. It just they didn't went the extremist way. They are still very, anything can happen. Obviously, in the next election, like it becomes even more so because I think the Swedish people want to see the results. They just don't want to hear them. They want to see them. They want to feel them. They want to kind of notice that their effort has been dealt with, or like their effort is not in vain here. And maybe we get even more. I don't know if we are going to have like Jimmy Åkesson as a prime minister moving forward. Then I think Ukraine is going to have a problem. I don't think Jimmy Åkesson is as easy to deal with as the current prime minister is. So it's like, put down a plan, have a strategy, do it now, see it as opportunity. Yes, you will be feeling like you're being forced to do so because you haven't. No one of you have done the work previously. Trump did a good job this time around. He doesn't want to be the one keeping, like, keep doing it though. He wants to push it over to the European leaders, which he should. Someone needs to take the, it's like, I would like to have the EU leader, like the top dog, on that meeting. I've never heard a word on like who. I think von der Leyen is one of them that is she like the top dog? I don't think so. I think she is, according to my AI, she is like underneath, but she, you get what I'm saying? I think we, like, I know who is, and why is he never, like, that does, is not his position, like, position. Why doesn't the big boss in EU have a conversation with the Americans, or have like a with three-way meeting with the Russian president? Like, I don't get it. Like, how does it work? I'm not saying it's wrong, I just don't get it. Why it's so difficult for EU? How is the structure built? Why is everybody, it's like, why it's up to the French president to make something happen? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I would like to have that Trump can say to our EU boss, head of whatever, I'm putting this on you. Can I like deliver this? We have come up with a plan. We need to, now that like Germany needs to do something, or France need to do something, or I think that is like a frustration. And I think people are starting, I think the Americans are starting to get frustrated with it, because Trump said something about there are very many leaders in Europe and still they need me. And that, I'm just starting to like, yeah, but why doesn't we have like a president over EU that is in the same level as the Russian president and the American president? It would be more easy, I think, to have that kind of a flashy figure. And we don't. Von der Leyen, but she isn't really, and I don't think it has I don't think it's her personality. She is shown, I do know about her, but I don't think she's the top dog. So that is my speech for today. I think I've done this video so many times. I'm going to post this one, even if I'm like all over the place. So I'm done.